because it's mostly a how-to story. And you really need to be at your own computer and try to have a look at how to do things. So try not to read all the verbiage. I'll try to cover it in my talk. So anyway, everybody wants to know what it is and what you do with it. So basically, the power and potential and limitations of a large language model is a generative AI assistant. What it does is it looks at a huge database of information that it sweeps up off of the web, other parts of the internet, company databases, whatever you tell it to access, and it looks for patterns, and it puts words together one at a time based on the patterns it sees in the data. That's about as much as I know about what makes it work. In fact, most of the AI people don't know exactly what goes on in the black box. So I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have a live demonstration. I'm going to give you a guide to how to choose, how to prompt and use the AI bots to your advantage. So as I said, lots of information. Just listen up, and if you will, bear with me. There's a lot of information on some of these slides. Better to look at individually as you're trying to experiment a little bit with the information. And I'll go back to any slide as we need. So please hold your questions until we get to the end. There'll be a time to ask questions then. So it's more than just talk. People think, oh, it's going to be my friend. And it has a very friendly interface. It wants to please you. But it's got a powerful background of information that can give you a lot of insight into the things you're wondering about or want to search for, etc. You can use it either by typing in questions, which are called prompts, or you can use a voice connection to speak to it, and most of them will speak back to you. You can also do things like graphics. It can generate a picture of something for you. You can use different voices. My son-in-law and I were playing around with it a few minutes ago, and he said, well, I'm interested in Irish pub. Speak to me in an Irish brogue. Bang, there she was, a lassie, speaking back to you. So you can use it to do things like help you with spreadsheets, and even do computer coding if anybody here is into that sort of thing. Searches are made much quicker and to the point when you use AI. You know what happens when you go to Google. You get line after line of connections to other websites. You click on them, and it turns out that website doesn't really have what you were interested in. With AI, as I'll show you in a demonstration, you can just tell it what you're looking for, and it'll do the searching for you and give you the precise answer of what it is you are looking for. No more endless Google clicking. It's a new way to interact and give you a creative engine to generate content that is new and unique to you. It helps you to stimulate your thought, express yourself, and you can have some fun with it, like the lady with the Irish brogue we brought up. So, a little something about the potential of AI. Everybody's seen lots of stuff in the press about it. If you haven't, you're not paying attention. because it's all over everything you hear and see on the media today. I won't go into the statistics, but even though a lot of people have looked at it, only 5%, according to Pew, have actually used it in any depth so far. The World Economic Forum says that AI will displace 9 million jobs by 2030. But it says it'll create 11 million in place of those jobs. So certain people are going to have to change and adjust to what they do or what their jobs are, but there'll be plenty of work for everyone. It's important because what? Well, it is the next big thing. It wasn't that many years ago that the internet was the next big thing. Look where it's gone, some good and some bad. Lots of billions of dollars are being invested in AI because it needs a lot of power and a lot of computing heavyweight investment. It really works, you'll see. It's pretty simple to use. It can help you with ordinary everyday problems. You can learn and improve your creativity using it. And it's free to use and readily available. I say free, every one of the ones that I know of have a free version. If you want to pay 20 bucks a month, you can get the upgraded version. I've never done that because I'm not into kind of some sort of in-depth research, for instance, that a doctor might do, or a scientist, or someone that's really into researching subjects. So, excuse me, I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's a few examples of what bots can do for you. You can create something let's say, in a text of something. I've used it to create a eulogy for a dear friend, something I never did before. I'll tell you a little bit how I did that. I've used it to do a wedding speech. You can do it, the Bellagio article. You can even give you spoken simultaneous translation of a foreign language. You can speak to your friend in France on, say, Zoom in English. She will hear your question in French. She will respond in French, and you can hear her answer immediately in English. Pretty amazing. You can learn more about a subject. Going on vacation, you want to know something special about a national park and whether you can get around with your walker or not, what's to see there. Your doctor says you've got a new ailment. You want to know something about it more than perhaps he was able to tell you in the 15 minutes that he's allotted to talk to you. You can do some shopping. A new car perhaps. Clothing that matches your style or your coloration, whatever your complexion. Or you can solve a problem you run into on your computer or your phone. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a little live demonstration. Here I'm going to use a voice prompt using Microsoft Copilot, which any of you that use Microsoft Word or Excel have seen the little pop-ups. They want you to try it. So give me a second here to pull up Copilot. There she is. So it says, "Good afternoon, Gary," but that's in text. I want to speak to it. And I want to ask it a question, a prompt. Let me get my prompt so I say it correctly. Hello, Copilot, are you listening?
Loud and clear.
Copilot, I have something for you. We are residents of a retirement community and want to learn more about AI and how it can be used to enrich our lives. List 5 ideas for our next meeting. Use a jovial voice.
All right, Gary, how about these ideas? First up, a virtual art gallery where AI curates masterpieces based on your preferences. Then, try an interactive storytelling session with AI helping to craft the tales. Third, explore personalized health and wellness tips generated by AI. Fourth, discuss financial planning tools powered by AI. And fifth, a look into smart home tech that makes life easier and safer. Sounds like a fun lineup, right?
Yeah, but I'm not too sure about your last one there. Can you give me a little more serious stuff, say about some educational opportunities?
Got it. How about we dive into AI-powered educational platforms? These can offer personalized learning paths tailored to your interests, whether it's history, science, or even new tech skills. We could also explore language learning apps that use AI for immersive practice. How's that sound for a more serious angle?
Very good, thank you. We're going to leave this demonstration now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome, Gary. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, well, now you gotta understand, come on, that come on. You understand that I'm not very good at this. First of all, you understand. I can get everything except what I want on my screen. But anyway, there we go. Understand, that was generated on the fly. There's nothing pre-programmed. I've asked it that question before, and it's given me somewhat different answers before. In fact, if you ask that same question of 2 or 3 bots, you'll get 2 or 3 somewhat different answers. And they're all generated over the Ethernet per your specific question. Let's try another one. So I'm going to use text this time. So I'm going to copy, excuse me. Well, it won't work in this mode. Let me do it another way. I should be able to excuse me. Well, now. All right. It's going to cause me trouble, I can see. Here I go, maybe I can do it this way. Yeah, see, Copilot keeps popping up when you do a Microsoft program. So here's the question I want to ask. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to paste it into I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste it into something called Perplexity. Perplexity. So it's saying, ask me something. There's my prompt. I want to buy a pair of brown men's shoes that are comfortable to wear, casual but smart looking, have rubber soles and leather tops, and cost no more than $150. Give me 5 choices stating brand, price, and links to the vendors. Now, for reasons unknown to me at the moment, it's showing you the slides and not, so I am going to cut the slide. Oh, come on. I knew this was going to happen.
It happened to us too, so we might as well learn.
All right, here is Perplexity's answer, which it came up with about 2 minutes ago, but I wasn't able to get the screen up so you could see it. So it's giving me, there's number 1, $104. You can buy it on this website. If I click that, I would go straight to where I could buy that shoe. It tells me a little bit about it. It says, okay, if you don't like Cole Haan, you can go to Clark's. Remember, I said rubber soles, leather brown tops, and shoelaces. Here's another one from Banana Republic. Another one from Eco. Another one from Stanley Adams. And I can click on these items here and get more information, related information. I'm going to see if I can ask a follow-up here by voice. I've changed my mind. I want to have black shoes without laces. Give me 5 of those, please. Well, try again. I've changed my mind. I want black shoes with no laces. Give me 5 of those, please.
And want more specifics.
I have changed my mind. I am getting very frustrated with you.
Just type it.
I have changed my mind. Can you hear me? Well, I'm sorry, folks. The fact is, if you don't like the first answer you get, ask it another question, and you don't have to repeat all about the rubber soles and everything else. It remembers, it knows what you're talking about, and it gives you an alternative answer without all that rigmarole. So let's go back to the slides. And the slideshow. And we'll get to where we were. So, I don't know if you're impressed or not. It impresses me. Can you imagine looking for that many brown shoes with rubber soles and laces on Google, and how long it would take you to get somewhere where you could actually buy what you wanted for the price you wanted? You get the idea. So I'd like to get into a little bit of the ideas of how you use AI. And we're going to cover several things. I'm going to skip over here. This is where I tell you what I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to skip that. So they say different bots have different personalities. Well, they have different personalities or voice, but listen, they're tools. There's no sentient human being sitting somewhere in Baltimore giving you these answers. It's not real, folks. It's a computer simulation. But nevertheless, some excel at creativity, others at precision or safety. They have strengths and weaknesses. You want one that you can find that meets your specific needs. One that's easy to use. You can see I was having some trouble with that. And my recommendation is to try different ones. In fact, ask them the same question. When I was putting together that eulogy, I asked 2 or 3 different bots to write something for me. I gave them who he was and so forth, a bit of facts about his history. I got those 3 or 4 responses. Parts of some I liked, parts of others I didn't like, and some of it didn't sound like me. So I did a little cutting and pasting on Word to come up with what I thought was what I wanted to say, but it helped me collect my thoughts, and it helped me phrase things that might sound better in the particular circumstance. And it certainly gave me sympathetic answers that were suitable to something like a eulogy. So that's what I would suggest. Explore different ones and compare the results. I'm going to skip this slide. It'll be in the deck if you want to see it. It just gives you some of the attributes of the personalities of different bots. But there's a wider world about AI. They're sometimes called agentic AI. It's agents. It's things that a company or a nonprofit or anyone might use to accomplish certain tasks in an automated fashion. We've all listened to the guy in Hindustan explaining what our problem was on Microsoft, and about 20 minutes into that conversation we gave up because we couldn't understand half of what he was saying. If you ask a bot, which will soon be prevalent on most customer interfaces that you call, you will get an answer that's researched throughout the entire web, so hopefully it'll be correct, but it'll also be spoken to you or typed to you in plain old American English. If in a company you need to handle some employee PR items or some other departmental task, AI assistants are starting to help companies automate that sort of thing. Bots can also produce images or translate your voice or write computer codes. There are medical bots that are in use and certainly being developed that can help diagnose illnesses or design new drugs. These should be used by professionals, not you and I going on and trying to diagnose our own ailments. But they've been shown to be able to pick up lung cancer and other items that the human doctor looking at that x-ray has not been able to detect. And they can go through design of new drugs at internet speeds and try many different combinations before they find one that works. So the pharmaceutical companies are starting to use them. If you want to go on a trip, pretty soon you'll be able to talk to a bot, where you want to go, when you want to go, how you want to go, and it'll set up an itinerary for you, and if you tell it to, it'll make the bookings for you. Maybe that's still coming along, but it's going to be here very quickly. You use most of them for free, some of them $20 a month roughly for the enhanced versions, which I don't think any of us really need. I certainly don't use them. So experiment and find the ones that fit your needs. Now everybody says, well, I know this thing gave me a wrong answer. It didn't. It was what they call in the trade hallucinating or fabricating information. And that has happened and will happen. They are constantly learning and improving, but you got to be careful. They sound very confident. You heard some of what we did in demonstration there. Gee, they know you, they know exactly what you want, they give you an answer, bang, doesn't take any time at all. But please, do we need that on?
Yeah.
Somebody turn the lights on?
Yeah, are you done with the slides, or you have more slides?
Yes, I have more.
Okay, then.
Is everybody getting tired? I can cut this short anytime anybody's thinking that it's going too long. We're about 30, 40 minutes in. So, don't believe everything you see or hear from a bot. Critical thinking and verification are still something you need to do. Trust but verify. And you can get the bot, if you ask it the right question in the right way, to give you citations for its information. And you can find out whether, in fact, what it's telling you matches what the citations are. So it's all about how you prompt. You got to give specific instructions or questions. It's the old Geico, garbage in, garbage out. You'll get back from a prompt exactly the quality that you put into it. So I'm going to cover some of the ways that you can do that. You got to provide enough detail. Don't be vague. Let it understand what the background is, what the context of what you're asking is. Like I did with the group here of retired people who want to know something about, give it some background, give it some information. you can have it reply to you in a voice. I think I said, use a jovial voice, in other words, friendly, nice, easygoing. But you can say things like, explain it like I'm a fifth grader, which sometimes we have to do, or write in a certain style. But dream up something that doesn't exist if you want original stories or poems. It writes very nice poems, by the way, and jokes. So tailor the responses to your requirements by giving it enough information. Give it some structure. I want a list. I want a bullet list. I want an outline of a PowerPoint. Limit the number of words or paragraphs. Avoid unrelated questions. In other words, don't mix it up in the same prompt. And you can hit the deep think button if you want it to give you a more nuanced, detailed answer than the quick answer it gives you. It may take a few seconds more, but it may be worth it in certain circumstances. So, if you're not sure of what the bot's telling you, or just as a good practice anyway, ask it to explain its conclusions, or elaborate, or just rewrite the whole thing altogether if you don't like what you heard the first time. It knows the context you're talking in, and it'll come right back with a rewritten section. You can do the deep research button. You can ask it to cite sources. You can challenge it, like I did about, I tried to do and didn't, the black shoes and the no laces. It remembers where you were in the conversation, so you don't have to go back and repeat a bunch of stuff. Usually a few seconds, maybe a half hour if you're asking a really detailed research question. Regardless of how polished the answer seems, always verify. It's a simulation, not a sentient human sitting somewhere. So, the best way to learn is to experiment and have fun exploring what AI can do. Different bots give you slightly different answers, sometimes radically different answers. You can then decide for yourself what is relevant. It can help you enhance your productivity or your creativity. The other day I had a problem on a spreadsheet. I wanted it to do something. I had no idea what the formula was to do that. I asked the simple question of it, how do I get this out of this data set? And in a second, it gave me the answer, including the actual formula of Excel formula to plug into my spreadsheet with the columns and the lines that I needed to cite, and bang, I got the answer I wanted. I could have spent hours trying to figure out the formula for myself. However, be careful about personal information, especially medical and financial information. Some of these bots, probably most of them, store your information somewhere for some period of time. So be careful what you say. You shouldn't try to diagnose an illness or get financial advice without help from a professional. Be aware that the platform data usage and storage policies, what they are and whether you want to give it any particular information. And always fact check. It's a tool, not a supportive authority. So, I thank you for listening. What we talked about is that prompts unlock the potential. You need to pay attention to how you ask the question and give the bot some background information, context. They're information troves, but they're not your buddy, even though they may sound like it, because they want to please you. They want to tell you things that are gonna make you happy. That's the way they're designed. Try different ones. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. Do not be afraid to challenge the bot with follow-up questions. And always trust but verify. Thank you. Any questions? I see one back here.
Where did you start? Where did you start? What did you enter first in your attitude?
There's a microphone here somewhere. You know how to turn it on, I don't.
Who's asking the questions?
Live?
Yeah, it's right.
Who had the question? Okay.
Where did you start? What's the first thing you did when you sat in front of your computer? What did you go to?
Today, you mean, or any time?
In
Or when I
order to
first
start-
started?
In order to start your AI conversation and search.
Okay.
Here.
I've got a microphone. You do have to Google something. You say, or enter, like one of the ones I used is Perplexity. You just type in perplexity.com and you get the, if not the actual bot pop-up, it'll give you the blue line to click on to get it to pop up. So they're all there. Perplexity, Chat GPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and there's a dozen others. Some more specifically oriented than others. XAI's Grok. And there's another question.
Not a question. You can also use your mobile. So last night, Rob Roper and I were in Drayton, getting ready to go to a restaurant. Looked at a tree with some fruit. We didn't know what it was. So I did the Google search with the little picture, and it came back and told me it was
Yeah.
passion fruit.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Today I had visitors from Texas, old friends of ours, that came and had lunch with us. And they said, gee, we'd really love to hear you talk, Smith, but we'd rather go over and see the coast. How did we get there, and what's to see on the way? Right on my phone, I asked Perplexity, in that particular case, well, what's the best route over to the coast to Jenner? I want to go down to Bodega Bay and then back to 101. And what's to see on the way? Well, it took maybe 5 minutes, gave us a beautiful description of the route, where to go. Oh, and there's Corbell Winery here on River Road. Great deli there, good wine and a good free tour. And when you're in Bodega, do this and do that, or see this and see that. And come back on 116 or 12 or whatever it was, to 101 and go back to San Francisco. It was a instantaneous guide to a nice sightseeing trip. And I told them if they wanted to use it on the way, when they see something, or we're now in Bodega, where do we go to eat, or something like that, instant answers, all on your phone, in voice.
One thing I've noticed is after your brown shoes, if you ask a follow-up question, like, where's good dining in Puerto Vallarta? it still remembers the brown shoes. So you have to say, forget everything. And say, brown shoes are not appropriate for Port time.
Exactly, that's one of the things I said, don't mix subjects in your prompt, because you'll get confusing answers, or, you know, and the best brown shoes in Puerto Vallarta are found at Jose's on 3rd Street.
So do I understand correctly that we don't need to go on our app store and put it on as an app? ChatGPT, for instance, I could just speak into my phone and say, hi ChatGPT, I'd like to know about this.
Yes, you can.
Does it make sense to, put it on as an app on my app store? I use an Apple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I've got a couple of them here on my phone. If you want another demo, I could give you one. I think this microphone is, no, it's still working. See one over here.
Thank you, Gary, for everything. I've used ChatGPT, and I've used Microsoft. Can you hear me?
Get it close to your mouth.
Hello, can you hear me? Anyway, my question is this, I've used ChatGPT and I've used Microsoft Copilot. Where can I get a list of other, you're referring to them as bots, I believe. Where could I get a list of these different sources, so I could compare them? And one other question related, you do need internet to use these, do you not?
Yes, I think that's a fair statement. You can do it on your computer, do it on your phone, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android, like I have.
But
they all work.
If you're using your phone, you still have to have internet access. You couldn't use where there's charges for extra service or whatnot.
Free, it's free, unless you sign up for the upgrade. Yeah, and the easiest way to get a list of them is to ask ChatGPT or Copilot, give me a list of all and they will give you the list. There is no proprietary reason they wouldn't. And they'll give you and give me where I find it and what I click on, and it'll give you precise information back. Yes, Frank.
As a cautionary note, AI seems to come on whether you want it or not.
That's right.
As an example, I do a Zoom family call. I've done it for quite a while. And when I finished the last one, AI gave me a summary of everything that was said. And that's all, which I didn't want recorded. So be careful what you get. You may not be able to shut it off.
Yes, I had a case walking over here where I had been talking to a Copilot, thanked her for her nice summary of what I asked for, and then I started walking over here, and every few steps she'd say, is there something else I can help you with? And I thought I'd shut her off, excuse me for being anthropomorphic. You need to be careful. If you turn your microphone on, it's going to stay on. And if you haven't shut that app down...
Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Well, I think I did say goodbye, and I had the mic still on, and it still came back at me. So be careful. Yes, once you just like, you know, you turn the microphone on your phone at any time. You could be talking to Sam next to you here, and it's listening to you. How about what's her name, Siri? You know, it hears everything you say, right? And there have been instances where there's been lawsuits about it records everything you say, and like you happen to mention your Social Security number while you were talking to your wife. So, Barbara.
So, Gary, is your PowerPoint going to be available to us?
Yes, I'm going to ask Tanya to put it on, or maybe, should it go, Luana, should it go on the website? I'm not
Yes.
sure which.
If it's on the website, it's easier to get to than trying to find it
Okay,
on the
I'll
website.
send it to you. And I'll send it, anybody that, wants it sooner or wants to get it directly from me, just email me and, I'll send you a copy of the PowerPoint.
And didn't you say that you also have a list of the bots on the PowerPoint?
I had 5 of them on there on one of the slides,
Okay.
but there are tens of more. So those are more or less the popular ones that I had listed. But there are more, some are very specifically oriented to certain industries or science, subjects, but the popular ones will answer most any question. Anybody else?
Okay, so the alert that you were just talking about, where it's picking up things that we may not be intending to go anywhere else, such as a video or phone conversation these days with, an MD by appointment,
Mhm.
and having a serious, conversation. Should I be worried?
No, and not as long as if you finished using a bot, you shut it down and you shut your microphone off. Most of the bots will say, can I use your microphone? It says always or only when I'm using this bot. If you say only when I'm using it, then if you've shut it down properly, your microphone is not working and it will not record anything. In fact, some of them don't record anything. They listen to what you say, they give you an answer, there's no permanent record kept. But you need to be careful what their terms are. Some, in fact, do store information. Anybody else? Okay, thank you all. Hope you got something out of it.